A lot of people don't know this, but there were many reasons why Dooku turned to the dark side. So I'm going to summarize the book Dooku Jedi Lost, and it should explain everything so you don't have to listen to the 8-hour audiobook. So it follows Dooku's dark side apprentice Asajj Ventress before the Clone Wars. Dooku sends her on a mission to find his sister, and throughout the journey, Ventress basically uncovers the whole of Dooku's backstory. Ventress learns that he was born on an outer rim planet, Sereno, home to his parents Count Gora and Count S. Anya, and their children Ramil and Jenza. Count Gora basically ruled over the planet that had been named after his ancestors. So he was from quite a wealthy family. After Dooku's birth, his family discovered his Force sensitivity, causing his father to be very fearful of his son, given the family's homeworld's history with Force-sensitive beings. Basically, they didn't like Jedi. Count Gora contacted the Jedi Order, instructed them to take him away, and basically left the boy for dead in the wilderness. He basically left him, he chucked him, he caused him as an outcast. The Jedi found him, where else Dooku would have been dead. Years later, Dooku returned to Sereno along with his friend Cypher Dyas, basically doing a Jedi, I don't know how you'd call it, a showcase. The Jedi was showing him around the galaxy, and he returned to Sereno. At the event, Dooku spotted a young girl who he feels, and he basically connected with the Force to her. He rescues her from a confrontation with a few thieves, which was it was an interesting scene, and it was very typical Star Wars. And then through the Force, Dooku realizes that their brother and sister, they found some other connections. You can probably imagine it. Dooku and Cypher Dyas continue the tour of the surrounding area, including the Hall, a building that houses Sereno's Planetary Council, which is basically just the council. I don't know, yeah. Dooku learns an old legend of a dragon that holds the world together. Interested, Dooku reached out and touched the carving of the creature. Just then, a sudden earthquake. The building collapsed, trapping the children below it. After the children had been rescued by the Jedi Masters, Count Gora became enraged by his Force-sensitive son's return. Confused, Dooku then learns of his past, and this is something a Jedi's not meant to do, which is actually the downfall of Dooku, but we'll get on to that. When Dooku got back, him and Jenza immediately started communicating through secret hollow messages, something strictly forbidden by any Jedi. Dooku's rebellious nature was basically his downfall. Fast forward a few years, Cypher Dyas and Dooku were exploring the Jedi Temple, and they broke into a secret collection of Sith and dark side artifacts known as the Bogan Collection. The pair would get caught after Dooku encountered what he believed to be the dragon from Sereno. Dooku explained what he had seen to the Jedi, only to be mostly dismissed. However, a Jedi named Lene Costana was concerned with what Dooku had seen. During this time and the years to come, Costana had done extensive research into the dark side and ancient Sith artifacts. She would continually urge the Jedi to take Sith and dark side threats far more seriously, but they just brushed it off, including Yoda, who said the Sith will not return. That's a key moment that's an overlooked moment in the Star Wars universe. Dooku wanted to become Costana's Padawan. However, at the showcase of the Padawans, he would become the Grand Master Yoda's Padawan. Costana would choose Cypher Dyas as her Padawan. Dooku and Yoda's relationship was a bit shaky at the start. Yoda had been particularly fond of Dooku, causing Yoda to finally pay attention to the boy. Meanwhile, Cypher Dyas began to become plagued by visions. Cypher Dyas essentially had very bad visions where he could see the future, and that's not ideal. Dooku, Cypher Dyas, and Costana would travel to Protobranch to warn and provide aid of these visions, because he had a vision of a planet basically being in bad trouble. 3 years later, Dooku was contacted by his sister to inform him of their mother's death and asked him to attend the funeral. Dooku then revealed his contact with Jenza to the Jedi Council and asked if he could attend the funeral. Costana agreed and accompanied him there along with Cypher Dyas. During the funeral, a protest against the Sereno family broke out. In an effort to protect Jenza from the protester, Dooku revealed his presence and used his Force-sensitive abilities. Years later, Dooku would obtain the rank of Jedi Master and gained a seat on the Jedi Council. During his time as a Jedi Master, Dooku would train 2 Padawan learners, Rael Averross and finally Qui-Gon Jinn. During his time training Qui-Gon, the pair would attend 48th Annual Dragonfire Air Rally, an airspeed race on Coruscant that Dooku's brother Ramil was a contestant. During the race, Ramil's speeder was sabotaged, causing him to lose the race and obtain injuries. Dooku and Qui-Gon would then investigate the incident. Dooku would return to Sereno after being contacted by Jenza asking for the Jedi's assistance. Their father had died, and Ramil had taken his place, continuing his father's footsteps, making selfish choices. The Republic and the Jedi Order followed their lead, refused assistance of Sereno because Ramil's refusal to honor their financial responsibilities to the Republic. On Sereno, the trio met up with Jenza and discovered the recent ground quakes had been caused by the dragon, which was indeed a real being. Dooku realized his presence on the planet many years before it awoken the beast. During the confrontation with Ramil, Dooku connected with the dragon, summoning the beast to destroy Ramil's forces. Dooku killed Ramil, cutting him in two, and soon realized he had no choice but to drive his lightsaber into the head, killing the beast. And that was it. That was the reason Dooku turned to the dark side. A lot of events and eventually just the final straw.